All right, I am live. We are live today. I didn't send out notices. Hopefully, you guys will get notices and join the show as we go. But as you can see from the headline, I wanted to talk a little bit about the transfer portals for both Iowa men's basketball and women's. The football team. It seems that the fans are all up in arms. Okay, everybody's up in arms over the lack of in getting anybody in the transfer portal. Okay, I hear you guys. I hear you. I'm just like you guys. I want to see some movement. I want to see some action. I want to see some signings. We know that Iowa is more than likely going to sign a quarterback. Right now, the two most people that have been linked that we know that Iowa's at least had some contact with are General Booty from Oklahoma and Brendan Sullivan from Northwestern. Okay. We also know they're going to go after a wide receiver, but as far as I know, the only wide receiver they've been connected with or talked to, we lost to Fresno State, and really, I don't know if Fresno State was able to offer more money or if the allure of their high-powered offense, because they have a high-powered offense, Fresno State does, and they're a power in the Big West. So I mean, maybe he wants to go and make some noise and show off for the NFL scouts this year at Fresno State because he'd probably get a lot more catches there than he would at Iowa. You know, it still remains to be seen yet just how Iowa is going to use their receivers this year with Luke Lachey coming back at tight end because we know that the tight ends are Iowa staple of offense. But we've got a new offensive coordinator. They promise some new things. Everybody on the team has said that they are doing new stuff. So we're gonna hope that's right. But we do need a backup quarterback because we don't know one if Cade's even going to be healthy enough to go for the season. I mean, they're telling us he'll be 100% in June. Um, okay, got to believe with today's modern science and modern medical that they can get a torn ACL ready to go in basically what is he had surgery in October. So 1, 2, 6 months. Yeah, that'd be about 8 to 9 months since he injured it, and we'll see. We'll see how that goes, and will he stay healthy if he starts the season? So we need a quarterback that can come in here. Um, okay. Hey Llama. Yeah, I was gonna kind of bring that up. Um, I was looking through the portal today, and we're gonna talk about the two quarterbacks that Iowa's been linked with. But I was looking through the portal today, seeing all everybody who has a new home. So many solid wide receivers and quarterbacks have already got a new home, and um, it just seems to me like I understand that we probably weren't looking in the portal in January because we spent the whole month of January looking for a offensive coordinator, right? And so they put their focus on that, and they want to get offensive coordinators. So they didn't do anything in the first go around with the transfer portal except get that Proctor kid, who they immediately lost less than 3 months or 2 months after they got him in the January portal area. And they wanted to go into spring. They wanted to see what their needs were going to be. Wanted to see who was leaving the team after the spring portal, and what their needs are. Okay, so now their needs are quarterback. So we didn't get any quarterback, but the quarterback portal's been people have been jumping in and out, or I mean when I say out, they've been signed. But they've been jumping in, through the last half of April when the portal opened, and there were people that we could have taken, um, that we could have easily taken. But I was being picky, and Kirk Ferentz did say that if they would go into the portal if the opportunity presented itself. I take this to mean that they're not going to like some people would think that they're sitting back and waiting for people to contact them. I think it just means if they find the right people in the portal that they feel would help Iowa and would fit their culture and just basically be part of the team culture, whatever that may be, whatever Iowa culture is. Okay. Um, okay. So anyway, God, you got me thrown off already. You got me thrown off. Okay. Um, so let's just talk a little bit about the one that seems to be the most linked um, to is Sullivan. To Iowa is Sullivan. Okay, he redshirted his first year on campus, which was 2021 season. In 2022 season, he appeared in 5 games and made 4 starts. He was 0-4 as a redshirt freshman for the Wildcats. That season, he did finish with 71 of 96 passing for 74%. Hey, 74% passing is not bad. Now, you got to remember that Wildcats didn't lose because of him. They lost because they were just for 2 seasons and I would say a season and a half. They were just a bad team. Okay, that season, like I said, he passed for 589 yards with 4 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, had 97 yards rushing, and 1 touchdown on the ground as well. Okay, hang on. Get you out of the way. Okay, in 2023, he began the season as backup starter to Ben Bryant, but was called into action in late September when Bryant went down with the injury. Sullivan ended up appearing in 7 games with 4 starts. He was 2-2 in those starts. Okay. He was 63 of 99 in passing for 63% for 714 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He also had 160 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns on the ground. This guy actually might fit the bill, guys. He might fit the bill for what we need. Okay. Because he could he just makes sense, really. He does. Because he's both been a starter and a backup. Lester recruited him to Western Michigan when he was there, and I think he'd be a good fit for the offense. Okay. So he's got 2 seasons. He could compete with Cade. If he can beat Cade out, he can be the starter for 2 seasons. If he can't, and is a backup, then he can battle Marco next year for the top job. And so, yeah, it does seem like in the past, quarterbacks under Iowa lately in the last few years have been more of a pro style 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" quarterbacks, that are more pro style, that aren't really pocket savvy. They don't get out of the pocket as much as they should. And it looks like they were always coached to take the sack rather than try to run out of trouble and get into trouble. I think with both Marco, he can run out of trouble. It looks like this Brendan Sullivan can run out of trouble. What we can do, okay. So he would make sense, and supposedly he was in town this weekend, so he would make sense, okay. However, I think the name that intrigues us all of it is this General Booty. His full name is General Axel Booty. And honestly, he's the nephew of former NFL quarterback John David Booty and former Marlins third base and NFL quarterback Josh Booty. Also, the name gets around. Okay, he's originally began his career at Tyler College in Tyler, Texas, before transferring to university. Okay, he's 6'2", has 190 pounds. So he is going to be a sophomore. His major is communication. But okay, so at Tyler College, Booty played and started all 12 games for Tyler College, leading the team to a 7-5 record while throwing 3,410 yards and 27 touchdowns. And so then he transferred to Oklahoma last year, and he made 2 appearances in his Oklahoma tenure, and he's got no statistics. And so on May 2nd and this year, as you guys know, he entered the portal, but he has been contacted by Iowa. He does have a list of teams that have contacted him, but by looking at the list, I can't remember the list. I can't find it where I found it. It does look like to me like we might be his best option. Could we get both of them and have 5 quarterbacks for next year? Or do we just need one? Because we also need a wide receiver, guys. And I'm going to be honest. The only one that we're linked to is Eli Green. He caught 46 passes for 887 yards and 3 touchdowns, and he's from North Dakota State. He actually looks like he could be a decent get, but I found some other wide receivers in there that might help us. Malik McLean from Penn State. Yeah. There's a Greason Mala. I can't even say that, but his first name is Greason or Grayson from West Virginia. Coy Moore from I think Auburn. R.J. Willis from LSU. Devin Downing from BYU. These are all potential wide receivers that Iowa could go after. They're all in the portal. They've all been in the portal just since the portal closed. But other quarterbacks I've found, I don't think some of these fit. The only one I found that I thought would fit Iowa's mantra of quarterbacks would be Colin Sheely from UCLA. He's a QB. He's only done 217 yards with 2 touchdowns. All right. And Ryder Burton from BYU. I didn't find any stats on him. There's a Matthew Reeves, however you say that, from Boston College. I also didn't find any stats on him. Cool. Alrighty. While we're talking this way, can we discuss what we think the Kirk way is? His way is. I think his way is to find guys that will fall under his conservative way to coach. I honestly think I'm going to say this probably for the first time, and I might get bewildered for this or belated or however you guys are going to vilify me. That's what the word I'm looking for is. I think the Kirk. The time, for Kirk is, I think it's leaving them behind. Okay. The time is left behind. I don't know if he should consider moving on before it's too late and leave with some dignity. I mean, look what happened to Joe Paul. He hung on, and basically other people were coaching the team, and he was up in the press box, and he ended up leaving under disgrace. He had to leave. He was forced out under disgrace. Okay. Do you think it was a wise decision from a coach from Western Pennsylvania to wait until the last minute to finally look into the portal? Okay. Well, as we have discussed in the past, I always felt that we were going to wait till this April period in the portal to see what was there. And since the practice was his last practice was at the 27th of April or the 20th of April. It was the 27th. Okay. So he wasn't going to go into the portal until he made sure that he got a few people into the portal to start making some room. Okay. And so he's now looking in the portal. He's striking out on some of these people. He has had. My understanding is they're batting right now 0 on the people they're trying to get in. I don't know if it's the system that the or what like whether they're looking for a quarterback that wants to start right away, or they're looking for a quarterback who doesn't understand that he'll be the probable starter once Cade goes down, because I'm of the opinion that Cade's not going to start the season, and if he does, he's not going to finish it. He's too fragile, too injury prone, and those ACLs are, once you start tearing them, it becomes too easy to tear them again. Okay, so I'm not saying he waited till the last minute. I think he had a plan to get into the portal, at the end of April, and that's what they're doing. And they've been linked to a few people in the portal. They've lost I think a quarterback and a wide receiver, for sure. I can't remember who the quarterback is that was once linked to Iowa, but we lost him. So do I think it's wise? I think it was his plan all along. Um, but I think they knew all along they needed a quarterback, and so they could have started looking for a quarterback back in January. But again, then by the time we got our new OC Tim Lester in place, what happened is he was here too late, and all the good quarterbacks were gone. So now they had to wait until April. Now they were forced to wait till April. I think they intentionally waited about quarterback, and they knew they were going to need at least one. But I think they intentionally waited until Tim Lester was on board to find out what they were looking for in a quarterback. Okay. Isn't it weird that a coach from Western Pennsylvania with 25 years in the program can't have his pick when it comes to the portal? You think kids would want to play for someone with such dynamic views? Yeah. It is strange. It is strange that we are struggling a little bit to get people from the portal to play at Iowa. I just, at this point, I don't know what to say about it. Kirk's been around for 25 years. He's kept Iowa relevant for most of his 25 years. And, on the verge, he's had a few years where they were on the verge of playoffs. So, yeah. And so, that being said, yeah, I think it's strange that people wouldn't want to play for Iowa. But, as you know, the last 2 years, their offense has become a laughing stock, very bad laughing stock. And I think people are looking at that. And now these guys have got peer pressure when they're saying, you're looking at Iowa, why would you look at Iowa? Their offense sucks, man. You're not going to get anywhere. 3 and out every time you go out on the field. If you're a wide receiver, you're not going to get any catches. Yeah. And so, and did we wait? I think a lot of fans feel that we waited too long to get an OC, that we should have been looking back in October and had somebody in our hip pocket. When we knew that Brian was going in October, we should have been looking at that time. But Kirk was too focused on winning making sure he gets at least his 10 wins in the season. He was too busy focused on trying to win games. And then when December got here and the season was over, he was too focused on trying to beat Michigan, and then too focused on trying to beat Tennessee. And we see how his focus turned out. We might as well, losing the way we did in those last 2 games, we might as well have been looking for our OC then. But you know what? I mean, sometimes the wait's sometimes it's worth the wait. You just gotta, I think, as unhappy as people were with Tim Lester, I think now that they've seen that he's actually going to make some changes, and they like the way he talks, the way he, and if he can back up that talk, I got a feeling that Tim Lester is going to be a good fit for Iowa. Will he be allowed to just put the hammer on and just keep scoring once we get up 2 or 3 scores in a game, or will he be told like Brian to put the brakes on and turn it over to the defense and the punter? We'll see. Um, we'll see. I do think though, Kirk's idea has always been to let's run the ball once we get the lead. But I don't think Kirk always wanted to go 3-and-out. I just think that the runners weren't just able to get the ball past the sticks for whatever reason, and some of those because everybody knew what I was going to do. The players have admitted it. The other players have admitted it from the opposition that they knew what Iowa was going to run before Iowa knew what they're going to run. And so they were always there waiting for him, and they'd always stuff the box trying to force our bad quarterback to throw. They knew he couldn't make a connection, and if he did, so be it. Hats off to him. Tip the hat to him if he made a connection. But they knew he wasn't going to. Iowa fans knew he wasn't going to. And so, that being said, yeah. But I think Tim Lesser is going to be a good fit. And so, yeah, if we might have waited too long to get the OC, but I think he'll be a good fit. And honestly, I hope the quarterback we get, I think if we get this Brendan Sullivan, I think he'll be a good fit for Iowa. I really do. And he'll have more talent around him than he had around at Northwestern, And so that's one thing. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay. So is it him backing it up or KS forcing him to hold back and still try and prove 3 yards passes and 2-yard runs win games? Yeah. That's the problem I've always had with this. And I think you guys have known it over the years that it just seems like when we got like a 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 7 or something, when we throw a pass, we throw it, 2 yards and try to let the receiver try to make some hay himself. That doesn't seem to work. But what I've seen is when you watch other teams, when they have to make hay downfield, you look down, you might chase the quarterback out a little bit out of the pocket to see if you can get him sacked or out of bounds or something. But then all of a sudden he'll find that guy who's 1 yard past the sticks. And then maybe he makes another few yards on that run. Or they always throw over the middle where we give that cushion. We always give that cushion over the middle. And they always just seem to make big play. Guy steps back, makes a quick throw to the middle, and there's a guy past the sticks. How hard is it to throw the ball past the sticks? Iowa, why can't you do that? I miss the days when Dallas Clark used to do it. I miss the days, when we actually threw to our tight ends over the middle, and they'd always get us on third. They'd always pick up a 3rd down for us. Okay. So, yeah, and then on 3rd and 8, let's don't run the ball. Let's try to pass the ball and get some plays. I mean, the only run I want to see on a 3rd and 8 is a quarterback keeper where he just takes off and goes when they're not expecting him to. And I think really, if we can do that this year, I mean, Cade is not going to help us that much in the run game. I really believe this Marco or Brendan Sullivan need to be the starter because they can run the ball from the scrimmage. And so the defenses have to respect that. They're not going to respect Cade. They know he's got a bum knee. Even if he starts, they know his knee's not healthy. They know he's not going to take off and run. His last 2 injuries came untouched because he ran. He tried to run, and he gingerly ran. You could see when he ran that he wasn't running very well. And all of a sudden, his legs gave out from under him both times. So, yeah, other defenses aren't going to respect us in Cade in the run. And so I honestly feel that we're going to have a harder time moving the ball with Cade than we would with Marco or possibly Brendan if he comes in. And, who knows about General Booty? What a name that is, General Axel Booty. Wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't you love to hear Dahl saying General Booty every time he says something in the press box? Okay. Yeah. Okay. One of the other things I wanted to, talk about too is Iowa did lose a post player, Matt Cross, to SMU. We lost out to MSU, because the basketball has no money. And so we couldn't even get this guy who looked like he was a good fit for Iowa, would have been a good fit for keeping Freeman healthy and stuff, so we wouldn't have to be playing Freeman all the time. And I just have this feeling that we're gonna have to depend on Riley McCulvey. I hope he's ready to go and play significant minutes. I hope he contributes because he's gonna need to this year. He's gonna need to. So I hope that redshirt year helped him mature year, get stronger. Apparently he's got to get in there and mix it up. He's got to mix it up. And hopefully he's put some weight on his skinny body. Although during the season, whenever I'd see him jump out of the chair after somebody made a great play, he didn't look like he put on any weight. Okay, they have been linked to the 6'10 forward Burke. I'm not even going to say his name. Bayou Kitchell. He's from UCLA. Maybe they can get him, but he's a forward. But and honestly, we've been using what's his name? I can't even think of the freshman's name as a backup center for this year and as a forward, and but we would have a true center in Riley McCulvey sitting on the bench. He's a true 7-footer, and we just need to take advantage of him this year if he's able to go. So that would help. But right now, if we're gonna, I fear that the Iowa basketball program is going to go downhill fast and quickly because of no money. So it seems like the scared field mice, Iowa's spineless beat writers, won't answer the question as to if Deacon Hill will return to resume his role under KF. I know what he's talking about. He's afraid that that we're going to ask Deacon Hill to come back because he's an experienced starting quarterback if we get shut out in the portal. And I know I have addressed it with a couple of media people, and they have yet to get back to me. But I know who I can address it to, and he will answer it, would be Rob Howe on his Tuesday morning HF Mailbag podcast. All you got to do is hashtag HF Mail on his Twitter account, and he'll read your question. He will answer it. Maybe not the way you want him to, or he might read the question and say, this one I can't really answer. I don't really know the answer to, but he's bad enough to tell you he doesn't know the answer or he needs to do more research. So I like listening to that podcast on Tuesday morning. As a matter of fact, when I'm done with this, I'm going to go over to Twitter and write hashtag HF Mail and see if he will talk about what the probability of bringing Deacon back is if we don't have anybody from the portal. But who knows? By Tuesday morning, we may have somebody. Yes. So is Iowa still struggling in the portal? Jared, hi, welcome. I think they are. I think they personally are because we haven't signed anybody yet. We haven't got anybody out there. We've already lost a potential quarterback and a potential wide receiver to smaller schools. And you think about that for a minute. So yeah. I think they're struggling personally. I can't say 100% for sure. But if you miss it, we are confirmed that we're in on Brendan Sullivan from Northwestern and General Booty from Oklahoma. Both QBs have been linked to Iowa. And as I said, I can't find General Booty's list of people who have contacted him, but Iowa would be his best option if he wants to stay in a Power 5 or now Power 4 conference. Okay. The only wide receiver that we're linked to because we lost one is Devin Downey. Eli Green from North Dakota State with 46 passes, 887 yards receiving, and 3 touchdowns. So, and honestly, reading the North Dakota State site, that was their best player. that they took a huge hit on that one. They're saying that losing him really hurts. This guy looks like he can catch the ball if we can get it to him. So that's where we're at, Jared. Then we're talking about this basketball person that we're catching up on, a forward Burke by Yunchel from UCLA, because we lost Matt Cross to SMU. How do we keep losing? We lost a wide receiver to Fresno State. I can kind of understand that. Fresno State's not a Power 5 school, but they're a high-powered offense that uses wide receivers, right? And Fresno State is a Mountain West team, and they're a pretty strong team in the Mountain West, as is Boise State. They're probably more of the two powerful teams, and I think San Diego State is part of that too, and I think they're part of the Mountain West, and I think all three of those teams are really solid teams, and all those teams have been linking to become part of the new Pac-12 whenever the new Pac-12 decides to reform. Right now, I don't know if you've heard, but the two remaining Pac-12 teams, Oregon State and Washington State, those two teams, I believe, have decided that they're going to play six of the Mountain West teams, and I think play each other twice or something during the year. The two teams that nobody wanted in their conference. Okay. Can Iowa make it to 20 wins? We got to 19 this year, didn't we? Or 18 or 19 or 17? We got close. And honestly, we had 5 games that we should have won that we didn't hold the lead. We would have easily passed 20 this year and made the NCAA tournament. I really don't know if we're going to make 20 wins or we're going to call this a rebuilding year. We got to find out if we can get another post player in there and if Peyton Sanford's coming back. I think those are two keys: getting a post player or at least a power forward, and getting Peyton Sanford back. If we can get those two, then I think we can take a legitimate shot at 20 wins. It's going to depend on the schedule, though, because remember, we're adding UCLA and USC, and those aren't bad basketball schools. And matter of fact, Iowa has to go play both of them on the road this year. I hope they do it in the same week, though, to keep Iowa like a Thursday game, Saturday game situation, so they don't have to keep traveling to LA and spend all that money, because that would be just too hard on them. And I would think a Thursday setup or like a Monday, Thursday setup and keep them in LA would be the best. Yeah, the fans seem to have a lot of apathy toward Fran right now in the men's basketball program. So I don't think there's a lot of money coming in for the portal and for the portal money for Fran. We do know that the women weren't getting a lot either, but the women got more. And we do know that if you got somebody worth coming and you got a program worth standing behind like Lisa Bluter does, that somebody will step up and pony up the money for getting somebody like Lucy Olson for the women's team, because, she was a great get. She, I think they take that team from being out of the rankings, I think, into the rankings next year. And they're already a preseason 8 or 9 seed in the tournament next year. It's imperative that Iowa try to stay in their 4th seed, at least 4th seed or better in their top 16. Well, you know what I mean, the top 16 team, in order to be home, getting 2 home games. And I think they can do that. I think they will be a top 16 team next year. The women will be, because we stepped up and got Lucy Olson. And we've got a talented incoming freshman group next year. And one of them is already being picked to be a likely starter at post, so that we can move Hannah back to power forward and move Sydney O'Falter back to guard, the 3 guard. And that, in my personal opinion, and with Lucy at point, I think it makes sense to put Taylor McCabe at the off guard, the number 2 guard, because of her able to hit 3-point shots. People are saying her defense is not very good. But somebody pointed out in high school that in her high school team that she always guarded the toughest person on the other team, the best person on the other team, and did quite well in high school. So maybe it's just because of her limited minutes, and maybe they didn't want her to play defense this year. Maybe they wanted her to go in and just say, "Hey, go hit some threes for us." We'll see. I like her starting over Kylie Feuerbach, but I could see those two rotating that position. Maybe both getting 20 minutes a game in that position this year. So, but anyway, this wasn't supposed to be about the women's talk. We just want to get back to the men's. And yeah, so I think, according to Brad Hendricks, he needs more members in the swarm. Okay. I signed up for a second year. Last year I only donated $50. This year I did the $200 to become an actual member, so I get some benefits by that. Last year with $50, with a one-time thing, I didn't get any benefits, just the fact that I contributed. This year I did the full 200, so for the year, and that I get a whole bunch of benefits out of that, including the Swarm T-shirt. Okay. So anyhow, they're going to, but I do think that they are kind of like with the offense the way it is. I think somebody will pony up the money if we can get the right people on offense to come in, the right quarterback, the wide receivers, and I'm sure that there was plenty of money being ponied up to keep the 6 defensive guys that we kept. And I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but according to, I believe it was Higgins that said this, or Castro that said this, Cooper was very close to coming back to Iowa to join the fray, but at the last second, he decided it was time to make his name. Okay. All right. Okay. Would you say it's 10 plus wins or bust for KF this year while having a 4th-year top 5 defense, or will excuses be made about new OC playbook, new additions from the portal, et cetera, et cetera? Lama, you already know that that's going to happen. If we don't win, it's going to be because everybody's learning the new playbook, new OC, new words, new cadence, everything else. And yeah, no additions from the portal. I believe we're going to get some additions from the portal. So it's coming. Don't worry. We're going to get a quarterback and a wide receiver, and I believe it'll come in the next couple of days. I believe it. Hendrick says it so. I say it so. David Eckhart says it so. It's coming. It just, and I don't think we'll be disappointed with who we get. Okay. You'll be able to watch some football and basketball games now. Jared, what do you mean by that? I've always been able to watch football and basketball games. Always been able to watch them. I don't understand that question or that statement. You have to explain yourself. I always watch them. Okay. So live. I do watch them live on TV when they're live. Do you mean in person? Oh, I know what you're saying. You're talking about when they come to USC and UCLA. Yes. 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 I plan to go to the UCLA for football at the Rose Bowl this year. And I plan to go to USC and UCLA for basketball. And if they're like back to back, like Thursday, Saturday, then I'm going to do what they do. I'm going to stay in Los Angeles and overnight in the hotel and just enjoy it, then come home. Okay. But yeah, that's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I got to get tickets for it. I have to find out from UCLA when those tickets are going on sale for the Iowa game. I don't know whether to buy them through Iowa or buy them through UCLA, but I'll figure that out when the time comes. I'm sure it'll be a sellout because you'd be surprised how many Iowans are in Southern California here. The one nice thing I think about is the fans here don't really follow college football that much or college basketball that much because it's all pros in Los Angeles, all pros. Everything is pro, so I don't expect to get great seats at UCLA for both the Rose Bowl and the basketball games, but I do expect to be able to buy tickets. And when they go on sale, that's the first thing I'm going to buy. So, yeah. Um, while I got Jared on the line here, I did want to say we picked up another recruit for women's wrestling. And so we got Rhiannon Murphy, number 6. So, hey, Alex, I'm planning on buying 2 tickets. You and I are going to the USC game together. So get ready. Get ready, Alex. You're driving too. I bought the tickets, you drive. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, be careful of those college. I know UCLA and USC are. There's a lot of protesting going on right now. That's just too bad. Okay. Okay, we're going here. Do you think rumors are true that John Budmeiser is on a preseason watch list for top Power 4 recruiter? Headlined by Deacon. Oh my gosh, Lama. I know you're not serious on this one. You're deadly not serious. There's no way. If there's rumors, they ain't true. They're only in your head. Only in your head. There you go. I hope that's a smiley face there. I can't tell. Or laughing face, a laughing emoji. Okay, let me talk about this women's wrestling. Okay, they got this Rhiannon Murphy coming in. She's ranked number 6 at 105 pounder in the United States. Got Carly Brooks at 131 or 138. Kara, I can't even say her name, but I'll just it sounds like Demessi at 145. Naomi Simon at 180. Val Soloro at 103 to 110, and Cadence Diduch from 130 to 138. These are incoming college women's wrestlers for the current national champs. And also, AJ Ferrari is not out of the books coming to Iowa. According to the post that he and Ben Keeter posted together the other day, it appears that he's on his way to Iowa, folks. So for those that don't want him, I'm sorry. It looks like he's coming. Okay. Fastest promoted coach with no proven track record in history, though. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. But anyhow, yeah, I think Alex would agree with me though that because this is a dominated Southern California is dominated in pro sports that they don't follow college as much that we should be able to get tickets for both football and basketball pretty easily. I mean, there'll still be people in the stands, and I still think there'll be a lot of Iowa fans scooping up the tickets because of all the Iowa fans that live in Southern California. And so, that being said, anything else you guys want to talk about while I'm still here? And this has gone longer than I thought, so thank you for keeping it going. Don't forget to hit the like buttons while you guys are there. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. We're picking up subscribers, but slowly. My first goal is to get to 300, and I think we were at 289 the last time I looked. So we're getting closer. And so that I just wanted to basically bring this thought because somebody asked me to do one on the portal options for the for the quarterback, wide receivers, the basketball, and talk about that a little bit. And so I did a little research, found out who was in the portal, who we missed out on, who we lost out on, and it just seems that we are struggling a little bit in the portal. I think the modern age has probably passed Kirk by a little bit, and I think Kirk needs to to allow his to get back in good graces and go out on top. I think he needs to. Um, I just think he needs to allow his people, the young people that he's hired, all these young people, and yes, he has some oldies but goodies on his team, on his thing. But he's got all these young people that he's hired, some of his former players. He needs to let them do their thing, right? How else are they going to learn? You know, how else are they going to learn? Which NFL team? Which NFL team had the best draft? I have no idea. I'm going to be honest. I have no idea. I'll just say the Eagles because they addressed it with by drafting two cornerbacks in the first two rounds. They solved one of their biggest issues because they're a pretty solid team and they solved one of their biggest issues right there. Okay. Which overall draft grade would you give Iowa? You mean for the players when the players that were the four players that were drafted? You mean what the grade would be overall? Gosh, I'm not sure. You'll have to come back on that one. AJ says, I see there was a cornerback selected fairly high from Iowa. Don't remember his name. It's Cooper DeJean, and he was selected early in the second round to the Eagles. And so, yeah, we could have used him for another year at Iowa, but that's fine. He's going to go and chase his dreams. He's going to get $9 million for 4 years, and lucky good for him. And so anyway, the Eagles addressed the biggest concern I thought they needed. I think one of the stupidest drafts might have been the Bears. They should have never got rid of their QB. I know they traded him away. They bring in a rookie, and they're putting all their marbles into this rookie. He may or may not do the job, Okay. Yeah. Taylor drafted the Bears. Yeah. The quarterback, what's his name? Williams? Is it Williams or something? Said, don't worry, we don't punt that much. Yep. Telling Taylor, yeah, don't worry, we're going to. Okay. All right. So far, Iowa has 13 players enter the portal and one signed to come to Iowa. A O-lineman, talk about sad. Which is the worst Power 5 offense you think we would have been hitting the portal hard in December? I don't disagree with you, Lama. I don't disagree with you. We just know that he was too focused on beating Michigan and Tennessee, which we know how bad that ended up. Total of, what was it, 60-something to nothing in those two games? Yeah. So, and all that being said is, yeah, I would think we would have done a better job. But at the same time, we didn't have an OC yet in December. We needed to get an OC in place. And, we didn't have him until the end of January. And so we just need to understand that we didn't have an OC. So that's why they didn't hit the portal. Now they hit the portal. Now they've hit the portal, and now they're working on the portal. And I don't think the guys, if they can get these guys that they're linked to right now, I don't think it would be a bad haul. I would think it'd be a great haul. They don't need a lot of guys because their defense is loaded. Now, next year, they're going to have to hit the portal really hard next year with all the graduation going on the defensive side. But they don't need that much on the offensive side. They just need a wide receiver and a quarterback right now. That's all they need. Okay. Yes, I agree, Lama. He knew he should have had that in his hip pocket. He should have been talking to people in October. But he will be the first one to tell you, hey, I had a season to worry about. I had 10 games I had to make sure I had to get winning. I had a Big Ten championship I had to make sure I won. I had a bowl game I needed to make sure we won. Okay, so none of that happened. But he did make sure that he cleared his schedule for all that. I find it hard to believe, just like you do, I find it hard to believe that Kirk didn't have some time to sit down and talk to a few people about the offensive coordinator back in October. And maybe he did. Maybe he did. Maybe he just wasn't ready to pull the trigger while Brian was still there. You know. Okay. Yeah, he put all of his eggs into Paul Christ, and we know how that turned out. Chris finally turned it down in later mid January, and that's when the really ramped up. I think we were after Paul Chris said no. I think we were linked to 3 people, and the third one was the one. One of them turned it down. I think one of them never really was in the mix, and one of them turned him down. That's the one everybody wanted, and then everybody blew up over having Tim Lester when it was finally announced that Tim Lester was going to be the guy, and all the news media people were upset, fans were upset. And I think the fans were a lot more upset because the news media was upset. The people were listening to the news media and the podcasters and stuff like that. And I think that's what caused that. I think that's what caused the uproar there. But I think right now, I think most fans have decided to give Lester a chance. I think most of them are impressed with what they've seen so far and heard from him so far. And so, it sounds like we got the right guy. It took a little while, but it sounds like we got the right guy. Funny, a former coach wouldn't want to join a Legends coaching staff. Well, Paul Christ is doing what he does as offensive. What do you call it? Offensive analyst at Texas. Who do you want to play for? Texas, who was in the playoffs this year? Who do you want to coach with? Or come to Iowa and have Kirk tell you what to do when you don't want Kirk telling you what to do because you're used to being a head coach, you're used to doing things your way, and you don't want anybody telling you what to do. Okay. AJ, did you actually watch the game the other night? I watched the game. It was for free on the WNBA app on there. I put it on my TV on my Roku and just watched it free for there. But I don't think she has another game on there on that right now. I think there might be a total of 4 games later this year on there. But right now, there's going to be 36 games that are going to be broadcast nationally on all the national networks and probably Peacock. I think Peacock has some games, and so does Paramount Plus. And so you'll be able to watch her all year. The sad thing I'm sad about is I was trying to find out when the Las Vegas Aces played their preseason game. Apparently, their preseason game isn't till this Friday coming up. I wanted to see if Kate makes the team. I don't even know if Kate will still be on the team by then. Okay. Okay, going back to Llama. Maybe he refused to have the puppet string surgically inserted. It would be a tough sell. Okay, I'm done now. I feel vindicated. All right. All right. Okay. No, you missed it. Okay. AJ, she ended up with 21 points, a couple of assists only. The thing I think is when I look at my objective of that game, and I hadn't intended to talk about it, the Fever is they're not a great team. She dished out a lot of passes for these guys to get easy buckets, and they could not score them. They could not score them. And I noticed that Aaliyah Boston, who usually doesn't have trouble scoring around the basket, even she had trouble scoring in around the basket. I don't know if she was in the wrong place to get the ball because one of the comments that she made is with Caitlin, she needs to learn to be in the right place to get the ball. So I think that's one of the things there. Looking forward to seeing Spencer Lee perform in Istanbul to qualify for the Olympics. It's funny how he hasn't qualified for the Olympics yet, and yet everybody says he has. But then when I pointed out he still had to go to Istanbul to qualify, they says he'd have no trouble qualifying. He only has to be in the top 3. So I can see that. He should be able to make the top 3 easy. No problem. Okay. I did see her stats. Good. Good, AJ. I'm glad you did. Um, yeah. Okay. I'd like to, Jared, maybe you know the answer to this. Why hasn't Team USA not qualified at that weight yet? Did we not wrestle anybody at that weight during qualifications? Or I don't understand how we did not, how the USA hasn't qualified for that weight yet. Or did we wrestle people and nobody finished where they needed to finish in order to qualify? Because it seems to me like Spencer Lee would have been the guy all along to be in that spot. But anyway, whatever is said is like everything. But yeah. Anyway, we started out this podcast talking about Iowa football, um, transfer portal issues, and basketball issues, and Kirk should be getting money. Why they're not getting more money than they are, I don't know. But anyway, okay. All right, here we go. All right. Individual wrestlers have not placed high enough at certain tournaments around the world. Spencer Lee needs international competition. Okay, I get it now. I get it. All right. So that the only weight we haven't qualified at is his weight? Okay. Apparently, because that's the only weight that people are talking about. Okay, guys, I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about the football and basketball transfer portal situation because I was asked to do so. Somebody asked me to do a podcast on it, and I actually forgot to tell him I'm doing it, but I'll send him the portal. I'll send him this podcast. But guys, again, like, subscribe, leave some comments later if you want to, especially to the people who are watching this non-live. And don't forget, subscribe. Number one, share it. Help me get the algorithm in my favor. Already, I'm being told that every now and then when somebody searches Iowa Hawkeyes, my stuff comes up, along with the other Hawkeye stuff. And that's good news. But I want it to come up each and every time. So I need you guys. To there go. Thank you for hitting the button, AJ. I appreciate it. Okay, guys, I'm going to get out of here. I wasn't really feeling well and wasn't going to do this, but I had the time to do the research, so I went ahead and did it, and I got on there. I hope you guys enjoyed it and share it with all your friends and your non-Hawkeye friends because they might get a kick out of it. We might convert some people. Bye.